All right, I just want to give some news about what's happening at Battlefront. I didn't know this was coming out yet, but it's tanks, and it's basically just a skirmish type game where you just have a few tanks out and you play probably for a half hour, and then you play again if you want. So this is on the Battlefront flameswar.com website, and so if you click on that link, it'll take you to what's going to be what's available and what's going to be available. And it does give some tutorials, and a lot of them are in video form. Like you can click on that video to learn about that and how in the phases, what's coming out. You can get the rule book, so you can go ahead and look at the rules of the game, see if it interests you or not, and about the cards. And then they're going to have some organized play, and even Beast of War. If you go to there, if you click on that link. You can see them kind of showing the game. They don't know all the rules, but they tried their best with what they had. So clicking on some of the links, this is the starter box set, and what you get in is you get a rule book, 3 tanks, so one panther, and 2 Shermans. I'm thinking, wow, I already have those. Do I need to buy this? Well, it also comes with the dice, movement token, some other tokens that you need. The measuring arrows, which if you learn how the game plays, those measuring arrows are very important. It's kind of like what they said on Beast of War. It's kind of like X-Wing, where you put down this is where you're moving, and so you move your figure. This does kind of the same thing with those movement arrows. It's got identification tokens, so you know if you moved 1 or 2 and so forth. And if you learn more about the game, you'll find out what those are. Not so worried about the terrain, but if you don't have terrain, you can use this. It's right in the box. Some cardboard terrain of houses and forest. You get 22 tank cards. So what they've done, and this is what makes me want to buy this, is that all the tanks they're going to be coming out with, and I'll show you what they are, all the cards are in the starter box. So if you already have your T-72s, you don't have to buy the T-72 expansion, because the card should already be in this box. You get some crew cards, and we'll kind of explain what that is, some hero cards, upgrade cards, and some damage cards. And so the models you're going to get is the Panther for German, and all the stuff you need to know about the German Panthers here. It's initiative. It's got an interesting system. It isn't I go, you go. It's by initiative, and the lowest initiative has to move first. So, and 10's the highest, 1 being the lowest. So let's go down. That one's got a 6. Oh, here we go. So if we're comparing this Panther to this 76mm Sherman, the Sherman's going to have to move first because it's a 6, and this one's a 7. But what's interesting is you move first, then you shoot. So everybody's done moving, then you go to shooting. It's the opposite. Who's ever got the highest initiative, which means closest to 10, shoots first. So this Panther kind of sits around, what is the Sherman going to do? Then it moves, then it gets to shoot, and then the Sherman gets to shoot. And one of the things with this also that I found in the rules is even if you're destroyed, let's say that Panther destroyed the Sherman still gets to shoot that turn and it's over. There's things like critical hits that I guess kind of like X-Wing, where you flip a card over and this is what happens. There's also that in this game where if you get a critical hit, you flip over the card and here's what happened to your tank. And tanks do have hit points, which are these little blips here that you can use markers on, not permanent, use markers on and count off your hit points. And this shows like its initiative, its attack dice and defense dice and so forth. So all the information is on these cards. And it is a point buy system. I don't know exactly how that works yet. I didn't get that far in the rules, but each item has a point value up here. So there's another one and that one. And depending upon what you want to play for a game, this is how many points. Okay, I'm going to take these tanks and the abilities and warriors. I'm going to call them warriors, Flames War. Upgrades and whatever you buy also cost points. And so that's what's in the starter box set. And if you go further down, for those that don't know how to put these together, which I can understand, they got assembly instructions. So moving on, this is the rule book. It's the full rule book, so you aren't missing anything. I thought maybe I could do a practice game to kind of show you how it works, but I don't have the cards for when you're hit, so I can't really do that. I wish I could. But it goes through everything for the game, and it's not very long rules. They're pretty simple. There's a few tricky points with line of sight and a little bit with that. I wish they would clean up a little bit. But for the most part, the game seems like it's going to move pretty fast. And they do also have scenarios in their missions. And you play on a 3x3 table, so it's not a 6x4, so 3x3. And they include missions in this rulebook. And there's your assembly instructions again. And I guess your first game, kind of a tutorial how to play if you still don't understand the rules or you're new to this type of gaming. And in the back is a reference sheet. So pretty nice little rule book. And these are the upgrades of crews and hero cards. And you see this one costs 8, this one costs 11. And these are like real people. So American can have War Daddy Poole, and Germany can have Michael Wittmann. And what Beast of War said is that when you buy these, you put them upside down, and your opponent doesn't know what those upgrades are that you've got. I guess there's a point on the back, like it'll say 8 on the back or 11. They kind of get a clue, but man, that's an expensive card. I wonder what that is. So like Wittmann would not be revealed until you use Wittmann's abilities, which is listed here. And the medallion here, from what I saw down here, is you can't have multiple. You can only have one of those. So there's only one Michael Wittmann. There's only one War Daddy Poole. So there's some crew cards, gunner, driver, and so forth. And this looks like, to me, it's universal, so this is available to anybody. Equipment. This is why I talk about the card backs. So this is a 1, which means it only costs 1 point. So maybe that. Okay. If it was a 3, would it be that one or that one? So your opponent's kind of getting a clue, okay, that's a cheap one, but which one is it? And when you use it, you flip it. And there are some that look like this, and those you don't flip. You just reveal them when you have them. So you don't hide these upside down. The last thing I'm going to show is these are the tanks I guess they're coming out with. So June, so this month, these should be coming out. This is the starter set, and you got the Sherman. I'm not going to go through them all. You kind of go through the website, but you can see as I go through, it's going to be Britain, German, US, and Soviet. So kind of pulling down. So this is a lot of tanks, and it said there was 22 cards, so I expect there's probably, for tanks, so I expect there's 22 tanks going to be coming out for this game. There's also a token set you can buy. So there's the arrow I was talking about, that for movement like it is in X-Wing. And there's some mats, 3x3 mats you can put down on your table to play. So that is the game of tanks. It's just a little skirmish game. Not as in depth as Flames of War or Team Yankee or Warhammer or anything like that. But you know, it looks like it could be an easy game for people to get into. You know, and just need a couple of tanks. Buy the starter set, which has some tanks in it, so maybe that's what you're going to play with. And then just go from there. So that's the news I've got from Battlefront right now. So if you like this video or others I've done, go ahead and subscribe and share it with other people. And as always, have a good game.